guys, today we are going to be taking a look at Mesh Stitch and why it's so popular and why it seems to be all over the internet at the moment. So Mesh Stitch, if I get my little book of swatches here, is basically a quicker way of filling a space. It's quite a quick stitch, it leaves a lot of gaps, and I think that's why it's so popular. It kind of allows you to work something up pretty quickly. So just to show you an example, this here, single crochet, US single crochet, it's quite tight, but if we keep going through we can start to see how, stitches get bigger, but they're still quite tight, there's no huge gaps in between. However, when we get to a mesh stitch, you can see the gaps are quite big. Something like this works up much quicker than something like this. Okay, so this here is a mesh stitch using a US double crochet or a UK triple. There's a chain one in between each stitch. It's a decent sized hole. It's, you can get the tip of your finger through. It works up fairly quickly. It's not the quickest stitch in the world, but it's, still works up fairly quick. This one here is using US triple crochet or a UK double triple crochet. This works up even faster, and you can see the gaps are pretty chunky. You can scale this up further. You can keep, making these longer, and your swatch will get, bigger quicker. If you use a larger hook as well, that'll also make things much quicker. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at making this guy here. So we're going to be using the US double crochet version, but the same logic would apply to any version. So I'll get my yarn. And what I'm going to do, make a slip knot and pop it on my hook. Now, with a mesh stitch, you want to work in multiples of 2 because it's a 2-part stitch. So you've got your double crochet and then you've got your chain, double crochet, chain, double crochet, chain. So you want an even number to work into. So what I'm going to do for this one, just for the sake of this, is chain 11 and then do 10 single crochets into that, just so we've got a nice solid base to work into. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 11, cool, and then we ignore that first one, and then from the hook, and then we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and we're just going to do that all the way along, just so we've got a nice solid base to work into. Okay, so that is our 10 single crochets, and this is what we're going to be working into. Now, to start the next row, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what that counts as is our double US double crochet, UK triple crochet, and then our chain space in between. So we're now going to flip our work. We're going to ignore this first stitch here. We're not going to work into that. What we're going to do is work in the second stitch along with our double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, pop the hook into the hole, catch the yarn, pull it through. So there's 3 loops on the hook. Then we yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops. Okay, that's our first double crochet. We're now going to chain 1. We're going to ignore the next stitch and begin working into the second stitch along from the hook. And do our double crochet. Ooh, sun's come out. Chain 1, and then we skip the next stitch and work into the second one with our double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, work into the second one along with our double crochet. And then we chain 1, and then we do our last double crochet into that last stitch of the row. And that is our first row of mesh stitch complete. So So you can see it's pretty simple, it's pretty quick to work up, and it's pretty much just repeating the same thing the whole way along. So now to start the next row, what we're going to do is chain 3, exactly the same as we did before. So 1, 2, 3, and that counts as our stitch, 1, 2, and then our chain space, 3. We rotate our work, and we're now going to work into the top of our previous double crochet. So ignore the chain in the middle, ignore this first one here, ignore the chain, and then in the second double crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a double crochet in the top. So we're working there. And then we chain 1. Skip that chain 1, and then work into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet, and we just continue that right to the end. So after our last chain, what we're going to do is we're going to work into our second chain at the end. So you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work into our second chain and do our double crochet. Oops, sorry. And that is our second row complete. So we're basically just going to do exactly the same steps for as long as we want to now. So we do our chain 3, we rotate, and we work double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. It's a super speedy stitch to work up in comparison with something tight and cramped like a popcorn stitch or some kind of moss stitch or something. Even a US single is much slower than this. So that is our little mesh stitch swatch. Now, alternatively, there is an option where you can offset these, but I think it looks really nice when it's all kind of a nice formulaic grid. I'm actually working on a pattern for a mesh stitch top at the moment, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm sorry I've been away for a little while. It's been a chaotic few months. I've been moving house, but it's good to be back. And yeah, let me know if there's anything you guys would like to see or anything you would like to know how to bake, and I can try and work out and do it. If you give me a little like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching.